Alright guys, here we are. I wanted to talk about the meta, everything that happened in Shanghai. I took a lot of notes, did a lot of math, easy math, but still math. And I wanted to talk about the meta and the best decks that were here for each legend. Except for Yi and Keisa, I will make another video dedicated to these two legends because they deserve their own and it will be way more in depth. So first and foremost, there were all the legends attended, of course, but some of them attended, like Keisa, to up to 600 out of the 1996 legends that the people that were there. So 600 were Keisas and 60s were Garen, which is quite the difference. Out of all of them, not everyone made it to day 2, especially Garen and Jinx, which that means that up to today in all the major official tournaments, Jinx and Garen are the only one that did not make it to day 2. It was the first time for Lee Sin. Leona and Nux already did it once but did not accomplish that this time. And same for Volibear. Did Volibear attend last time? I'm not sure anymore. Maybe Volibear never did it also, either. Alright. In the legend that did quite poorly, we have Yasuo, which is not that surprising. He's struggling a lot, but among the worst legends, is the best probably, with 0.32 percentage conversion rate. So basically, the percentage conversion rate is like puts the conversion rate around a number that's supposed to be around 1, kind of. Some of them pretty far, but around 1, and that gives you an idea not only how the deck did, but how they did compared to each other. So that 0.32 for Yasuo is pretty bad, but still he made it. The other one, yeah, Ahri did terribly. It's hard to know why, because Ahri can do better results than this. We've already seen it. The legend has real potential, but right now 0.19 as percentage conversion rate is a disaster. Lee Sin did only 0.5. I mean, the fact that he went on day 2 is already a win for Lee Sin. MF was pretty low also, and consider that all MF that went to day 2 were Aurora, most likely. Then we've got Victor and Annie. Annie with less less people signed in, of course. A lot of people turn more toward Victor, but I think Annie is one of the most underestimated aggro decks of the meta. Annie also made it to top 64, which is really good. Miss Fortune also did it. She did much better when she was in day 2. Probably means that a lot of people are just going default on MF Aura and are probably not that good at the game. So made it to MF made it to top 64, and then one deck up to round 32. Victor, same as MF, interesting. The one that I want to pinpoint is Darius, as usual. Darius has a 0.95 conversion rate, which is the third best. Now you can think, wow, that's good. No, for the past 4 tournaments, Darius has been the third best portion conversion rate behind Keisa and Mastery. People are sleeping on Darius. I said it, I'll say it again. I don't particularly like the deck, but I think it has real potential and that people should pick it up more. It has, a lot of capacity to do great things. Back to Seth and Timo, that are the 2 left. Both did really good results. Seth 0.93, showing that he's like the third deck of the meta, most likely, behind Keisa and Yi. and 6 decks in top 64, 2 decks in top 32. Timo, really good score also, considering that he's struggling so much against Kai'Sa, and she destroys Timo, and because of that, Timo's legend did some great score, taking that into account. That being said, it did not make it to top 16 because I don't know if you heard about that, but the player who went up there got disqualified, sadly. Anyway, so those are the main things. There's also a mistake right now because I had 5 and 3 for Kai'Sa and Yi in top 8 when it was 4 and 4. Small mistake, and it's been corrected after in the other table. So this is the detailed one with all the numbers. I will not take some more time for this. It is not as clear. There are a crap load of numbers. You can pause. There's also the version on my Twitter if you want to take the time. Go ahead, check it out. Not a problem. But I won't go on too long on this. So now we're going to see all the decks. I hope I won't be too long. First and foremost, thanks to Runan's Rift plus Yomagoat, who posted every single of these decks, and thanks to Piltover Archive for doing an amazing job. I had to cut it from the bottom because I wanted it to be as readable as possible. But yeah, thanks to Piltover Archive. Garen, of course, made it with Aura deck, and this guy went full on troll mode. Look at that. He's got the Grand Plaza. You win if you conquer, if you hold with 7+ units. He only has 6 units in his deck. I mean, plus the tokens and the Garen, but like, yeah, this guy was here for fun, definitely. So yeah, 500 second, not the best. Divine Judgment does a lot of work in this deck. That's interesting. If you want to pick it up, I think it's fun. Now, is it good? That's my answer. Leona, same, the Grand Palazza. I mean, it's okay, sure, why not? I get the idea of the Grand Palazza because in certain matchups it can be good if you manage to constantly stun the opponent's units and to defend yours. They will just stack up on one battlefield and the opponent will not do any damage because of the stuns. So sure, why not? A lot of poros, and you've got the herder to go with this. I think it's, I don't know if it's gimmicky or if it's good, but I find it really cute. Doesn't it blade? Can do some work, I guess. Fiora is really good in this deck. Whenever Fiora is buffed, she becomes insane. And the Salvage, of course, to counter. I mean, it's mainly to counter Aura or some other stuff. The problem with Salvage is that if your opponent has no gear, you cannot use it. I think. Or maybe it's been changed, but at one point you could not. Lux now. Again, the Grand Plaza, I don't know why they were all running it, but I mean, here you got the Recruit the Vanguard to pay some tokens. So in a way, maybe it can make sense. A lot of big spells. Falling Comet, Imperial Decree, Blast of Power, Recruit the Vanguard, Check Power, Final Spark, Time Warp. All of this that can enable the Lux. I think Lux could be way better in a less aggro meta, where she would have time to spend all of her mana. Playing Echo, I get the idea. But yeah, I mean, Aspirant's Clam is here to not get destroyed by aggro. Vilmos Lair, probably a good deck, a good battlefield index. I don't know. I'm not that much of a Lux player. I should try so to be able to talk more about it. Then Jinx, which is, you'll see, just a lesser version of Annie. There are some cool stuff. So We're going to see this several. We're going to see this several times, but the Dreaming Tree right now shows that this deck lacks something, because this Dreaming Tree, so many legends will use it better than Jinx, and yet, I mean, it's good. You got the Cleave, you've got the Ride the Wind, you've got maybe the Fight or Flight. There are some good uses for it, but the Dreaming Tree is super used because so many decks need that draw, and you give your opponent also the draw, and Battlefield should be there to get an advantage and not only to make it for your struggles. Zone's Warren makes so much sense because you've got some card that play around this card. I think right now this is Jinx's main weakness, which is that you don't have that many cards to be discarded with a positive effect, so that's a problem. And then the Arena's Greatest because it's an aggro deck. Nothing much to see. Just one Nocturne, a bit gimmicky. You discard it, I guess, if you draw it, and else it's a good card. Yeah, the Sun Disc can do a lot of work. I don't underestimate that card. And the Vi Random Wind combo as a finisher. Sure. Volibear. So, Aspirant Climb, Signal of some Obelisk of Power. Nothing to see here, just your classic Aura ramp battlefield. One Warwick, no I Love Blade. That's funny. That makes Warwick less effective, but I guess that if you combine it with Falling Star against like another Aura, you have advantage. Here no Drake, so we've got instead the Delbloom, the Cadra Green, and yeah, Blazing Scorcher. So there is an option for this deck to like not use Aurora and still be able to play, which is cool. My issue with it is like this Falling Star gets you so far behind in terms of rune, and if you were to use one of those Iron Ballista instead, you could still have a bit of control over the board, even if it's clearly not as effective, and yet not have to spend anything. So maybe consider it. And the Vi, I don't know how you're supposed to use this Vi, but I don't know, you probably had an idea with it. Ari, yeah, so should have done better. Here it's an Ari that I know because I kind of played, but the other way around. It's an hybrid Ari, so you can switch from green to blue and from basically a stance to another. There's nothing much to say about the deck, nothing that fancy. Mega Mech is not that used in Ari, but alright. Unchecked power to deal with Aura. Thing is, Green Ari is supposed to be already good against Aura, so that's why it gets a bit tricky here. I don't know about it. Rune Prison and the Sprite that is better in blue than in green. The problem of Hybrid Ari that I've noticed is that there are cards in the end that do not fit exactly what you would like to achieve. But, I mean, I didn't go 819th at the National Open, so good job. Alright, listen now. We saw him on the live, actually. It was the first game from the day 2, because he got eliminated in this one against Aurora. It was so hard for this guy. His only way out was basically Dragon Rage almost. He put up a great battle, but yeah, tough matchup. Some cool things. Wow, some cool things here. Because you've got like this Wizen Elder, so many things to play around buffs. Kiana, for example, is not that good of a unit, but once it gets buffs, it makes a lot of difference. Onion Spirit to play around Kaisa, Rune Prison to play around the the Aurora and the Windwall to play around the Time Warp. So yeah, you've got a lot of stuff to adapt. The deck is pretty cool, and I think if you play this in, you should try to start maybe with this and build around that. Yeah. Then Darius. This one was really fun to see. You see there are some big creatures like the Harness Dragon that you can go for mainly through the buffs or through Trifarian Warcamp. And once you've got this, you can just, or even a Cleave, you can just sack your usefull that is on the Warcamp, get your dragon, and do so much damage, or Yokam actually, that works too. Yeah, the Sun Disk is here to put even more pressure. The only thing that I'm seeing that helps a lot is the Yellow Seals order, because you kind of need them for the baited hook. And yeah, nothing special. Free Flowing Star in the side deck. I would say that it's for Lee to remove the Poros and so on. It's hard to tell. For Master Yi, sorry. Yasuo now. Here again, some cool cards to see. Playing around Nocturne, so of course you will have, when you get Nocturne, you will have the Candle Insectum. I don't know if he gives Nocturne every time. He has also the Free Mask of Foresight, which, I mean, I don't think any deck uses it better than Yasuo, because Kayn and Green Yasuo benefits so much from this. Same for the Wielder. The Merchant is just here to enable the early, the Mystic Poro to have a bit of presence, and to activate Nocturne also. Stack deck is normal. Bakali Bar is the best battlefield for Yasuo, but Yasuo is because Yasuo is the only battlefield that can use it to its full potential. So yeah, run this one if you run Yasuo. Dreaming Tree is here just because you are lacking draw, like so many decks. And Candle Insectum, yeah. Nocturne, get the cards that you exactly want, and so on. Free Razor the Thunderer, that's pretty cool tech. I don't know how well it worked for him, but I guess that if they're here and they are free, it must work well. So once you get 10 cards discarded, it costs 0 basically. Why not? Then Annie, really good aggro deck Annie. Here you can see that to finish you still have the Cleave Vi or the Vein. No, not the Gust Vi. I'm going to make it. The Rider Wind Vi or the Cleave Vein are both really good combo to completely finish the game. Rebuke, Fight or Flight, Gust are here to gain up some tempo, put a lot of pressure on your opponent. Regen Dead Guard and Decan are here to get some really early points. And Teemo puts a lot of pressure, I think, in early also. Not all Annie's played, so you can surprise your opponent. Acceptable losses to deal with Auroras. Draven, same. A unit that is hard to remove. And Zoneswarren, Reverse Duo. Reverse Duo is here to protect Issa. Zoneswarren is here because you need to get your good cards, basically. And Arena's Greatest because you're an aggro deck, but see here, no Dreaming Tree. Because, yeah, even if it's good and then you need draw, you need... your opponent will use it maybe better than you. And instead we have an inverted timelines. Now, Teemo, 30th place. So we will not see the one from the guy that made it up to top 16 because he cheated. Yay. Really controlled one because we already see the Experience Climb. The Dreaming Tree here, I think there are a lot of spells that target your unit, so it starts to make sense. You have the Stupefy that's like draw 2 for 1. You've got the Flash, you've got the Fight or Flight and the Conversion Mutation. So yeah, you can use the Dreaming Tree quite properly here. The Zoneswarrens are here to discard the Scrap Head. I don't know if you keep the Scrap Head once you're not playing on Zoneswarren, or yeah, maybe you side it after, but at the beginning I guess it's good. You can also discard it through the Merchant. So not bad. 3 mundos, so you play a lot around this mundo, and the Titaner can do some really cool stuff with mundo, and the convergent mutation too. Getting one of your small unit buff to a bajillion might is amazing. 2 inverted timelines, that's good because 1, you lack draw, 2, once your opponent has 10 cards in hands, you're happy to just send them all to trash. Now Victor, quite controlly this one, because we see 2 Seinen, 2 Watchers, Riptide Rex, Singularity, Grand Stratagem, and yet still playing Arena's Greatest, which I don't know how he manages that. Maybe there are some cards that go in and or out. Yeah, it's hard to know if he keeps all those late game cards, if he's still playing the Arena's Greatest, or yeah. Defiant Warcamp is amazing with Victors because you get so many tokens that all benefit from it, except if you're playing against Ari, then Defiant Warcamp is bad. Vilmo's Lair, yeah, you don't mind sending a token to die. That's not a problem. And your opponent is being way more paralyzed by this battlefield than you. Misfortune, Aura deck, classic, an Arrowing, maybe to see, and a Needle Sprinter in Kesa, and unacceptable losses, which is fun, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. Same battlefield, same Aura deck. I hate this. Next. Set, pretty cool tier. Divine Judgment is played, so great to do against a lot of control deck that because set lacks draw, lacks late game, so that helps, I guess. Sabotage, same. You've got honestly all the classic. The Citria, the Pitruki in early, the First Mate. Both sets are played, so you can switch in between the one that you want in your deck. Fiora benefits so much from the buff. I mean, yeah, overall, really not much to tell. The Windswept Elog that I don't see in every single set deck is amazing because used with the Showstopper, you can just... That's basically a Vi Ride the Wind that costs much less with, yeah, more stability afterwards. And there it is, guys. We got to the end of it. Again, I will make a video about Kaisa and Yi specifically. I have other videos that are planned, so and they're going to be really good. I'm going to do some in-depth analysis with a lot of explanation and a lot of tools to perfectly understand what happened during the finals and why Omega Zero was so much ahead of his opponent. So yeah, if you want to see that, do not miss it. Just like, subscribe, all the you know those things, and I'll see you next time. Bye.